Hello, I am Mars Bengtson, but you may know me as my stage name, Ozzy. I use that name during open mic nights on Mondays. So for now, you can call me Ozzy. I'm here today to talk about writing, specifically how it is amazing, but has helped me as a coping mechanism through a lot of different struggles through my life. How many of you here are writers already? Okay, you should all be raising your hands. Everybody has written something at one point in their life, whether that be a text, an essay for school, or a note. And you may think, hey, I don't have a way with words, but everybody has the potential to be a writer. And writing doesn't always have to be good. Here's the thing about today's presentation. I'm not going to tell you 5 tips to be a better writer or how to write the perfect poem. I'm here to talk about how to use writing as a way of coping. You don't have to have a way with words. You don't have to be good at writing. You just have to get the thoughts and ideas floating around in your head out and onto a page. Who here would describe a part of their life as tough? Or an event they experienced traumatic? Yes, that would be most of us. Throughout my life, I've had many struggles, as we all have. And I've been through multiple therapy programs, and they were really helpful. But the most important thing that I discovered during these times was writing. I unlocked the writer in me, and it was a part of me that I loved when it was really, really hard to love myself. When I started using writing as a way of coping, I was 12. At that time, COVID had started, and I was in my house 24/7, 7 days a week, as were all of us. And I was alone with my thoughts a lot. I had a lot of unprocessed trauma, I was lonely, and honestly, was depressed. I didn't tell my parents. I didn't tell anyone about anything I was feeling. It got worse. But through all of that, I wrote. I wrote poem after poem after poem about my pain. And here's a product of that pain called Picture Day. Pretend. Act. As if I'm not already doing that. For me, you say. For you, I'm sure I can manage. Keep my head up, place a gag between my lifeless lips and twist till you're satisfied, my smile spread nice and wide. Hand me that knife. I'll carve a frame out of flesh for me to stand in. Please don't touch me. I'll collapse like a paper doll. Your fingers like flames burning me away, I run. Lying in graveyards is much more fun. I'm strapped down to a table, an autopsy of my inside. You'll be disgusted at what you find. Many people who have depression or struggle with other things, other mental illnesses, they think that they have to keep struggling and keep suffering with these illnesses to be creative and to produce good writing or good art. For me, it was actually quite the opposite. While yes, I'm proud of the poetry that I created when I was struggling, I grew healthier mentally and my writing got better. When I was 13, I was hospitalized. I had tried to overdose. It was a failed suicide attempt, but it was a awakening point where I knew I needed help. So I went to the doctors, and I was diagnosed with major depressive disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, and generalized anxiety disorder. I started going to therapy, and I would continue to keep writing about my depression and my anxiety because they don't just go away once you get help, as many of you know, but they do get better and more manageable. Here's one I wrote about my intense anxiety that I performed at the Los Altos High School talent show a couple of months ago. Anxiety in me. Anxiety makes me cry. Crying is hard to handle. I feel open, and that makes me scared. That someone will come slashing with a spear of hatred, thick of steel and bloody and barbed, just like they did before. Anxiety leaves my stomach rotten and twisting, thinking everything about me is wrong. It leaves me slowly falling after a long day of almost dying from a lack of breaths, beats, and behaviors not worthy of gold stars, like they used to give for good work. Maybe I should just end it. But no, I won't do that. I can't do that. Anxiety works with depression, beasts hiding and benign. They assure me that they would never hurt me, but they're hard to believe when everything they do seems to degrade me. They don't love me back. My stomach gets excited by this sadistic act, and I run to the bathroom, and the contents of my stomach come spilling out, wanting to partake in the play. Schoolwork is suffocating. Friends, family, feelings, just hold my hand, please. I'm gutted all the time. My fingernails picked raw and bleeding, open wounds while I type. While I struggle to stay alive, I don't know if it will all be okay. But I know that anxiety is okay. It's warned me when things are wrong, and I know that anxiety is trying its best, trying to be a friend, trying to stick it out to the end, just like me and anxiety together. This leads me to my next idea. Writing doesn't just have to be about feelings. It can be about processing trauma through words and just getting it all out, the things that you probably have pushed down for a long time. Here's an example. When I was 6, my grandfather died by suicide. It gutted my entire family, and even to this day, I think about him and I miss him so much. I decided to write about him, keep him alive through my writing. I thought about the good things, like how he taught me to play harmonica and how he would dance around the room with me when I was little. But the bad things needed to be processed too. So I wrote about the bad things. Here's one about the day he died. That day. He called my mother to tell her goodbye, that he was about to die on the way to the Y to swim in the public pool. I thought I could hear the gunshot ringing through my ears like a lunch bell signaling no more listening to his wind chimes swing in the wind, no more strumming on his guitar, no more smelling the soft yet sharp scent of tobacco coming from within his house. I listened to my mother saying, "Don't go, don't go, don't go, don't go. He's gone." I miss him, but I'm healing. Maybe if you have unprocessed trauma that you want to process, writing can help you do that too. I'm transgender. I am also queer. I'm proud to be these things. They make me who I am. But in a world where there is laws against my health care and my right to live, basically, I need to write about the good and the bad. So here's a poem that I call Boyhood. Boyhood. I didn't get a boyhood. I was born a baby girl, crying and pink. I was held as a girl, rocked as a girl, cooed as a girl, sung to as a girl. Never once did they stop to look at the boy in my eyes. I was robbed of the boyhood. I wasn't born in the body of a boy. Wait, who is to define the body of a boy? As a child, I was a boy. In my head, where all of my dreams and thoughts stirred. My long rat-nested hair, my polka dot leggings, my little mermaid dress, rest within a boy's closet, hair on a boy's head, my hearty, loud laughter bellowing out of a boy's stomach. I write bad poetry. Well, in my opinion, not all poetry is bad, and none of it is bad, what I meant to say, but some of it just doesn't feel right. But I like to write what I call word vomit. It's basically where I just write about the confusion in my life, my gender, and my mental health issues. I just get all of the thoughts in my head out and onto a page, like I said in the beginning. I think that word vomit is the best way to express yourself. They're inner monologues. They can be your inner monologues. Nothing about them has to be clean cut. They don't have to make sense. They don't have to be perfect. Just barf it up and get it out. If you never want to share them, that's okay. Here's some examples of my word vomit. Does it ever feel like there is so much pressure inside of you that it's just building up, and if you don't get something out, you'll explode from the inside? That's what it feels like sometimes, and it's really painful for me. And I found that where breathing exercises fail, writing picks up the slack. I just spit fire about what I'm feeling and get all of those thoughts out. It relieves so much pressure. The truth is, I showed you all of these poems because I thought they were okay poems. And I wanted to show you that feelings can be beautiful and articulate, and they can make you happy. But the poems I shared with you were composed. I am not composed. I'm a mess of a human. I am flawed and weird, and I don't fully love myself or my art yet. But I hope that from today's talk, you can understand that while the struggle that I've gone through it because of writing. And writing comes from me. So I got myself through this. So hopefully that what you take from this talk is that you can use writing to help you get through tough times too. Thank you.